It looks like my my microphone died, you guys. So give me 1 second. All right. We're gonna swap out the microphone here. All right, cool. So we got our other replacement microphone in there. Thank you so much for letting me know that there's no sound. I hope you guys can hear me now a little bit better. Just give me a shout out if you can. Give me a thumbs up or a like. If you can hear my audio now, it should be good to go. Perfect. You guys are awesome. Thanks for letting me know on that. We got to roll with the punches on these lives, I'm telling you. You know, I'm still working on getting my equipment set up for the main part of my channel, where I'm going to be having more like long form, you know, edited type of videos, podcasts, and things like that. When I came across this lifestyle, adding more raw foods into your life, this was 23 years ago. And when I came into the lifestyle, I was just looking at it from the perspective of the alkaline diet. And the alkaline diet just states that certain foods make your body more acidic. And if your body is more acidic, well done, there's sound now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If your body's acidic, then you're going to have a lot of health problems. If your body's alkaline, you know, they did these studies where they cross-referenced people's blood pH with how sick they were, and there is an undeniable correlation with the fact that if your body has an alkaline pH, then you're not going to be sick, basically. Okay? And then they found that certain foods make your body more sick, more acid than alkaline. Okay? So the alkaline diet proposes that you eat foods that keep your body's pH more alkaline. All right? Now I know that sounds like pretty, I don't know, like pretty technical, pretty sciencey, but it's, if you look at it from the perspective of like the raw food lifestyle, it makes perfect common sense. Because whole foods are what our body is designed to eat. Okay? And it even says in the alkaline diet itself, when they give you a list of what foods are best to keep your body alkaline, what's going to be at the top of the list, guys? Fruits and vegetables, all right? Nuts and seeds, either raw or lightly steamed, flash steamed. Okay? And then down the line are going to be like your cooked foods, your cooked starches, beans, legumes, rice, lentils. Okay? And then on down from there, that's when you have your animal products. And then down from there, that's when you have any sort of food, whether it's a whole food, a potato, or a, you know, whatever, that you process and cook into something like a French fry, or into something like a bag of chips, adding a bunch of toxins and chemicals into the food. And what do you think that's going to do? It's going to make your body acid. Well, that's a simple way of looking at it, even though it sounds kind of complex. But the reason why I say it's a simple way of looking at it is because they haven't taken it all the way. The alkaline diet is really good. It lasted me about 22 years. All right. And for the last year, I've been tapering down. And by the start of 2025, I went fully raw. No animal products. And so what they talk about in the movement that started this whole raw thing was not some influencer. Okay. This started in the 1800s, guys. Okay. In a field that's called natural hygiene, where they healed people with fasting and with natural whole foods or lightly steamed foods. Are you seeing the correlation here? Natural hygiene existed long before the alkaline diet. It's just that the alkaline diet was the one that I could research at Barnes & Noble at the time when I was a teenager. Okay, they didn't have a lot of natural hygiene books in Barnes and Noble at that time. It's a field that's been kind of like put off to the side when it comes to science, because it actually means that you're going to have less medical bills and less need of pharmaceuticals. And that's not what they want. They want people spending money. They want people sick so they can make more money. All right? It's counter to the bottom line of these huge companies. That's why it's not super popular. You guys need to realize that. Okay? All right? So all the alkaline foods are the foods that are suggested, recommended, and followed by the natural hygienists of the 1800s. So that's when I found that sort of field. I ran with that. Okay? And then once I got there, and once I got into juice fasting, you know, just to remind you guys, I'm on my second juice fast. This is day 27 of my second juice fast. And I'm feeling great. I feel like I look really good. I'm 39 years old. I feel like, you know, this process has taken maybe 5 to 10 years off of how, you know, how I look and everything like that. So I'm decently in shape. I'm decently young looking dude for 39. And the longer I go on this juice fast, the better I feel. Okay? But that's a result of a lot of work on the back end that I've done leading up to this for over 2 decades. But it doesn't mean that you guys can't start now. All right? So what I'm trying to do is tie together the alkaline diet with this natural hygiene, the raw food lifestyle, and show you that, you know, the alkalinity or acidity of your body is a byproduct of more than just the foods that you're eating. It's the foods that, the bad foods that you've been eating throughout the course of your lifetime that have not been fully eliminated out of your body. Our bodies are not meant to have toxins and chemicals and artificial flavors, artificial colors, hydrogenated oils, excess salts, additives, preservatives, and then like the chemical insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides. Those things are foreign to our body. You know, you didn't come out of your mother's womb with like a microwave, okay? We're born to eat these natural, raw, whole, delicious foods like this watermelon in their original form, which I was hoping to show you guys some black seeds, but even the seeded watermelon didn't have seeds. That goes to show you that our food chain needs some working on, okay? All right, so when these byproducts of the food that we can't digest and fully eliminate get stuck inside our body, that creates toxemia, all right? The toxemia then creates inflammation, mucus, an immune response, and all of those factors lead to acidosis, or an acidification of your pH of your body. Okay? So the alkaline diet is kind of like tickling the surface of the issue, but the root cause of the issue is not what you're eating today, it's what you've been eating your entire life. And if you haven't been eating a natural whole foods diet that's been minimally processed and minimally toxified with chemicals, then you're going to have stuff stored in your body. And if you want to achieve your best health, age backwards, feel like a teenager every day, look like a damn teenager physically. I'm my high school weight right now, 185 at 6 feet tall. Then you're going to have to cleanse the toxemia out of your body, and you're going to have no health problems. All right, that's not medical advice. That is not a promise to you. It's my anecdotal experience. I haven't been to the doctor for a health problem in 20 years, guys. Literally. So that's all I can tell you is I'm going to make a video later, you guys, about this guy that I just met when I was doing calisthenics in the park. And he told me that, he gave me a nice compliment. He's like, I used to look like you. And you know, he's like, how old are you? I'm like, 39. And he's like, oh, well, that makes sense. I'm 50. Like he's defeated or something because he's 50. That's only 11 years, guys. 11 years ago, I was 29. Okay? I probably look better now than when I was 29. All right? And then he's like, well, there was one time where I lost 50 pounds in 2 months. Yeah, but it was Ozempic. And I was like, oh, good God. He has this just like, he's not there yet. You know what I mean? But what I told him is that the best thing that he can do is to do a juice fast. Okay? Because the juice fast is going to help you start to eliminate all those toxins. It's going to remove the toxemia from your body. Your body's going to become more alkaline. Aislinn, what's up? Aislinn Turner, I know you, I know you. Welcome back, welcome back. All right. And then, but it's going to shake something loose in your brain. Because if you have a toxic liver, if you have a toxic stomach, there's the blood-brain, you know, response as well, you guys. I notice my thoughts are more clear. I can kind of like look at my emotional response of my body and my feelings and even my thoughts from like a higher consciousness and just maintain a calm throughout it. But it's going to shake loose the foundations of wherever you're at in believing in this false paradigm of the Western scientific medical model. It's so simple. All you've got to do is realize that your body probably has a degree of toxemia. Not probably, I mean, we all do. We breathe the air and drink the water and eat the food. It's all got a degree of toxicity to it. It's not this pristine jungle food in some utopia where there was no pollution, okay? So you've got to clean out the bulk of that stuff, and then you've got to stay on top of it throughout your life because you're always going to be dealing with that toxic load, all right? And the way you do that, besides eating a natural, you know, mostly raw or lightly steamed diet consisting of fruits, vegetables, and then to a lesser degree, nuts and seeds, and trust me, you're not going to be wanting for the animal products. It's so delicious. You're going to feel so electrified. You're probably going to slip back and try some cooked food and some animal products or have a cheat day or whatever. And then you're going to feel so weird and gross. Like, I'm not going back to this. No, thanks. And you're going to be motivated to stay on this. All right? Besides that, I really recommend to do a juice fast. Do a 3-week juice fast. It's going to unlock your world. And it's a tool that you're going to have in your toolbox for the rest of your life. When you start gaining a little weight, you kind of loose on your diet a little bit, maybe stress, whatever. You're like, okay, my body's telling me that I need to do some sort of reset, a detox, a cleanse. Do a juice fast. That's going to reset you. It's going to take off 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds like it did for me in just a matter of 3 to 4 weeks. You guys, I'd love to help you with that. So just, you know, email me, blake@rawfood.lifestyle. And if you guys haven't already, I know I got a lot of subs and likes. You know, please hit the subscribe button. Comment below if you have any topics that are pertinent to you, that you have questions about in your own life, you know, then I will be glad to help you. What is a juice fast? How do you do that? Okay, a juice fast. All right. A juice fast is where you drink only juice. You don't eat any solid food. You don't chew it. You didn't swallow it. It's just simply juice. All right, so let me show you. Here are some juices that I made. Okay. That's a grapefruit juice. You can see like a real juice, the pulp stuff is going to settle at the bottom, right? And here is a green juice and an apple juice. Look at that. So, boom, 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 boom. What I do, let me show you exactly what I do. All right? I'm going to leave a little gap between the green and the apple because guess what? That's where Mr. Watermelon juice is going to go. So, here's what I do. It's so simple. Start the day. The grapefruit juice is your morning juice. The grapefruit juice is going to wake you up in the morning. It's not too sweet. It's got some sweetness. It's got bitterness that is going to help you start detoxing. It's going to wake up and stimulate your liver, okay? It's going to help you have your morning movements, okay? All right? And it's not going to sit too heavy on your gut, okay? Then I work out. After that, when I get done with my workout, thank you, Aislinn, love you, love you, love you, okay? When I get done with my workout, first thing is you replenish the carbohydrates with this orange juice. High in fructose, which is the sugar that your body doesn't need to release insulin. It goes straight into the cells. People don't understand how sugar works. It's this complex sugars where you have to release the insulin. And those are your saccharides, which are the sugars that are in starches. Potatoes, rice, beans, lentils, etc. Okay, so you replenish your sugar so your muscles can build up the muscle glycogen again. If you don't build up the muscle glycogen, your body is going to start tearing down muscle for energy in a process called gluconeogenesis. Okay, you don't want to waste your muscle away. You need sugars. After that, I have my green juice. This is a highly concentrated. There's probably about 4 salads in this green juice. I mess with you not. I BS you not. Okay? This has kale, carrot, celery, cucumber, parsley, dill, cilantro, ginger, jalapeno, lemon for like preservative and to, to round off the flavor. It's got sweetness from the carrot. It's got the bitterness from the vegetal items, the kale and the parsley and everything like that. Okay? And it's got the sourness from the ginger and the lemon. And it's got the salt from the celery. Okay? Oh my God, it tastes so effing good. It tastes so effing good. It's ridiculous. It tastes ridiculously good. The weird thing about these green juices, especially if you have them after you replenish your glycogen after a workout with the orange juice, and then you wait a little bit because you don't want too much stuff, too much different stuff mixing around in your stomach at the same time. Okay? You have this green juice. It gives you this jolt that's almost like a stimulation of a drug or some sort of psychoactive substance. It's like a body high, a mind high. It's ridiculous. But that's what our body's supposed to feel like when we eat food and we consume food. That's the reward system that we're tampering with drugs and alcohol. That is a subtle response when we eat. We all know that we release dopamine when we eat, but it just gets so dampened because we're overstimulating ourselves all the time that when you clean out the toxemia from your body, like we've been discussing, especially with the juice fast and being on the raw food diet, or at least eating more raw foods and salads in your diet. That's what I did for 20 years and had success. You don't have to be as extreme as me. But then you become more in touch with the natural response of your body. This thing gets you freaking high, all right? So what have I had? 3 amazing tasting juices, all right? Then, as represented by Mr. Watermelon right here, I've been having 2 to 4 additional quart-sized watermelon juices the rest of the day. Okay? Let's just say 4. I think that's what I did yesterday. This is a 2-quart size jar. So 2 of these bad boys of watermelon juice after my 3 sort of like morning juices. All right? It's easy to make. You just saw me cut it up, put it in the juicer. It's a mono juice. I do put some lemon in it, but I put lemon in everything, so I kind of don't count that. To clean up the juicer after, it's so easy. The juicer is a good representative of your body. If the juicer is easy to clean after you make the juice, then your body's clean after you drink it. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? What's up? What's up, Uit? What's up, Uit? Okay, so then I have my gallon of watermelon juice. So now we're up to, okay, 4 watermelon juices and 3 of these. What green juice? All right, the green juice is kale, celery, cucumber, carrot, parsley, cilantro, dill, ginger, lemon, jalapeno. There's, like I was saying earlier, there's probably like 4 salads worth of greens in this one juice. And let me tell you, this thing feels so amazing when you drink it. It tastes amazing. All these juices do. The green juice is something special. Today I just kind of had like a light sort of workout. I did a little calisthenics and like a jog, like 1.5 mile jog. All right. So on a day where I work out really hard, I'll have 2 of these because this is your protein shake. You have to do the green juices, or else I'm afraid, guys, that it's, you know, try it. It's intense to do just the fruit. So you don't have to, but I strongly recommend. Then I fill up my belly the rest of the day just by just enjoying and just living the good life on watermelon juice. It's amazing. This is my dessert. Woo! Look at that. That is apple juice. Straight up apple. And again, a little bit of lemon. I put every lemon in all of my juices just because it's a preservative. Iselin, what's up? Yes, yes, the watermelon, I know. So that's 2 gallons of juice. Yes, I love apple juice too. Oh my God. So that's why this is dessert, okay? And it's that simple. Now multiply that by 21 days, okay? You saw how easy it was to cut up the juice. It's not hard to put it in the juicer. Okay, does it take a little bit extra time? Yeah. Does it take a little bit of extra money? Yeah. But do you want to be in the best shape of your freaking life? Okay? I am probably in the best shape of my life right now. Okay? I mean, I'm proud of that, you guys. I used to weigh 300 pounds in high school. Look at that. That's remarkable. I couldn't have done it at this age of 39. You know, granted, I had all that experience behind me, but the toxemia builds up in your body. Just like that guy who gave me the compliment and he said he lost 20 pounds on Ozempic. He's like, oh, I used to look like that. How old are you? I'm like 39. He's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm 50, so that's impossible for me, is how he sounded. No, it's not. There are people living this diet, living this lifestyle well into their 60s and 70s. They might have, you know, gray in the beard or gray on top or whatever, but they can do insane physical things. And they have insane longevity, even if you're not a super workout junkie. I am broke. Eat fruit or juice. Okay, if you're broke, here's what you can do, okay? Watermelon is cheap. 1 watermelon can make about 1.5 gallons, if not 2 gallons, okay? So what you do is you do a quick watermelon reset where you drink only watermelon juice with lemon. Important to put lemon in there with it. I always have bulks and bulks and bulks of lemons when I'm on a juice fast. Okay? Well, I've got 4 more bags of them sitting over there. Okay? And do it for like a week. If you can afford 7 watermelons, then, and you can't really afford much else, try that. And you're still going to see insane results. But besides a juice fast, if you're broke, a lot of produce is not as expensive anymore. You want to know why? Because there's less demand. Because more people are eating junk and ordering Uber Eats and wasting their money away on that. Make some salads, buy some simple, almonds or sunflower seeds or cheap, throw them in there with your salad, give you some unctuousness and some bite. Buy a bag of apples for $3 at Aldi. Oh, number one, bananas. So cheap. And replace anything that's processed that comes in a wrapping to something that comes in a natural wrapping, like a rind or like a banana peel, and start eating just more quantity of that. Build that habit up in your lifestyle, and you're not always going to be broke. I promise you, man. Okay? When the time comes, then you're not starting from scratch. You'll have however long experience behind you to then put into, now I have a little bit more money, now I'm going to invest more in my health. Oh, why the watermelon and why the lemon? Okay, because that's really close to an actual water fast. When people do water fasts, it's even more effective than a juice fast. Okay, but since there's still going to be sugars with the watermelon juice, it's not like a full water fast, okay? But it is gonna flush you out. It's gonna get a lot of the toxemia out of your body. And the lemon, if that's kind of like what you were wondering, the lemon is an astringent. So how many of you guys know or have seen the cleaning products that have lemon in them? Like lemon scented, gosh, maybe I shouldn't show you this, okay? Disinfecting wipes, lemon, right there, okay? Because lemon is an astringent. It cuts grease. So when you're eating lemons often, and they've known this for millennium, that's why it's really recommended, and I do this. You take one lemon, squeeze it into a cup of room temperature water, and drink that first thing in the morning. I do that even before my grapefruit juice right now, okay? That's going to cut all the grease out of your intestinal tract. Google mucoid plaque, M-U-C-O-I-D, and then plaque, P-L-A-Q-U-E. It's gunk that is lining the inside of your 30 feet of intestines, just like a clogged pipe in your bathroom. It's disgusting. And doing a juice fast removes that stuff, and you see it physically come out into the toilet. All right? When you remove all that toxemia, that's the root cause of all your problems. Almost all of your problems. When you remove that out of your body's not going to be inflamed from the inside out, and your body's not going to be having this immune response with a high white blood cell count. And your body's going to have a chance to breathe and rebuild itself and rejuvenate itself. It's incredible. If we eat fruit and juice, can we fight? That is a great, oh my God. You guys are giving me some great questions. I'm going to make a video on that because I actually train boxing myself. And there is an old sort of like anecdote that the kings of old would feed their soldiers meat because it made them more aggressive, okay? And so that sort of like old wives' tale, whatever, I'm sure it's probably true or at least partially true, that carried forward, all right? And then now we think that we need to be tough and eat meat, and that's what makes us aggressive and strong. All right, now, but let's look at like a different vantage point. Let's look at like a samurai or a martial artist from the East. You don't hear about them like eating a whole bunch of meat. They're eating like their rice, maybe like some steamed vegetables, and maybe a little bit of fish or seafood and, seaweed, and a very light diet. What do they focus on? They focus on their technique. They focus on their ability to stay centered, their mind power, their ability to be detached from their emotions. If you ever watch UFC and they talk about the fight IQ, all the fight IQ is somebody who's staying present and staying calm and cool under pressure when they're in a fist fight with another adult, okay? Well, another person, I should say. Don't fight kids, all right? So I've found that same thing to be true in my own life. All right? When I'm training and I'm been powered by plants for 7 months, I'm much more lucid and time seems to be moving slower. Okay? Your aggression doesn't come from the diet. It doesn't come from how big your muscles are. It doesn't come from the stimulation of the dead flesh. When you eat the meat, you get the fear and you get the adrenaline that the animal was feeling before its death into your body now. And that's why if you've ever kind of like felt good after eating a steak, well, I'm sorry, but you're feeling good because you're getting a kick of adrenaline that the cow was feeling because it knew it was about to get slaughtered. Okay? Yes, you can become the best athlete, not just fighter, any athlete, okay? And if you feel like you need more energy or you're not performing at your most, then just consider that where you were before when you were on more cooked foods and especially animal products was artificially sustained. It's one step below to me than, taking like TRT or something like that. Your body will find its homeostasis and you think forward. Yeah, it's cool to be big and buff and strong right now and be hitting these huge PRs in the gym or like having this crazy top end strength or power and you're fighting. All right. Do you want to live to be 100? Do you want to live to be 120? Or do you want to live to be like 60 or 70? Okay. I kind of divorced myself from caring too much about some of these like superficial, desires in life. Oh my God, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't fight kids. I don't fight kids. Oh my God. Are you vegan? Yeah, right now I'm vegan. Okay. But I don't do labels. I don't do labels. When I did my YTT, which is yoga teacher training, it's a 200-hour course. For most people, they're just like, oh, you're certified as a yoga instructor. Well, it's basically like a college degree, guys. It's a serious thing. You learn all the yoga philosophy and everything like that. All right. One of the main things that my teacher trainer taught me is to not be dogmatic and to always have a beginner's mind. Okay? I don't have any labels. I just try to eat what human beings were designed to eat. We are frugivorous species. We're mostly related to the great apes. If you look at what the great apes eat, it's mostly fruit and vegetables. They eat fruit. They chew on little young, tender, leafy greens. They might have some insects once in a while, and they might hunt very sparingly. Exactly, yeah. We want longevity. You want to live healthy. I used to think like, I want to have my cake and eat it too. There is no cake and eat it too. There is no free lunch. In Hermeticism, which talks about the immutable laws of the universe that are not subjective whatsoever. These are objective rules of this realm or this simulation or this game or this world, however you want to look at it, that we live in. And one of them is cause and effect. Okay? If you want to live long and be healthy the whole time, but still have amazing performance on top of longevity and spread that out over a very long lifespan and be healthy the entire time and not have to deal with, the C word or the D word, okay? These medical issues that are like really prevalent nowadays, and my heart goes out to anybody who has that, all right? Or like me, I was obese, okay? Apparently that's a disease. No, it's not. It's a lifestyle choice, okay? So this diet or this way of life, compared to what we've been conditioned to believe, it does feel like having your cake and eating it too. But for me, that's because the work of it, all this prepping, the juices, making the juices and being nice and organized beforehand, spending a little bit of money on a juicer, taking, 3 weeks out of my life a couple times a year to do a juice fast, that's not work. That's not a sacrifice at all to me, because that's the cause of the effect of which that, you know, when I go to my family reunion in a couple weeks, I'm going to blow their minds, because I'm going to be looking better than people half my age up in Minnesota. And again, my heart goes out to them, not to throw shade on anybody. But I'm doing it to be an example. If you guys do this, if you guys are drawn to watch this, and if you're still listening, you be that example. You do this. And don't go super extreme like me. I've been working at this for over 2 decades, almost 2.5. Okay? But eventually, you're going to be inspired to keep taking the journey further, because you're not going to be able to help it. The momentum and the intelligence of your body that repairs everything on a cellular level while you're not even conscious at night, sleeping, it's mind-boggling. This thing is like a freaking automatron by itself without you even being awake. It's incredible. All right? Trust that. That will lead you through this life. And don't buy in to the Ozempic. Don't buy into the medications, the allopathic stuff. If you haven't cleared out the toxemia from your body for the most part by doing a juice cleanse, and then at least trying to put more fresh food into your diet, and then when you feel ready, do another juice fast, and keep doing that for the rest of your life, you're going to get cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. You're going to reach this tipping point, because as we discussed, we don't control the air quality. We hardly control the water quality. We hardly control the food quality. What we can control is the composition of our meals and what goes in here. Okay, but we're still dealing with the toxic load of 2025 Earth. But once you're clean on the inside out, less toxemia, and now you're surpassing, your cleaning abilities in your detox is surpassed the baseline just toxic environment that we have to live in, then now that's where you start aging backwards, and that's where you start achieving just ridiculous longevity in your life. It's not taking all these crazy supplements and injections and hiding from the sun and doing blood transfusions and all this other weird shit, you guys. That is dark, weird stuff. What work do I do? That's why I don't like fats. What work do you do? Is alcohol and weed bad? True. Thank you, Island. Thank you, Uit. Right now, I work remotely, doing, you know, I'm in like the banking sort of field. But what I do, I used to be a personal trainer and yoga instructor full time. All right. Before that, I was doing what I do now. I took a break from this corporate world to really find myself, and I had like a stretch of like 6-7 years of just being immersed in the fitness realm. But I knew that there was more. I knew that there was something beyond just like showing people how to like do squats. I did a lot more than that, obviously. But what I found is that most of my clients were successful. And I wasn't counting reps. I wasn't counting calories. What I was doing for them was teaching them how to live. These doctors, even. I had a heart surgeon. I had, back surgeons. I was Dr. Vanessa, Dr. Mike. I had people worth 9 figures that they would still be eating like from McDonald's, or they would just be Uber Eatsing all the time. Or they thought that they had to like take their family to Carrabba's. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. So I taught them how to basically do exactly what I'm teaching you guys right here. Make your own food, read a nutrition label before you put something in the store. If it's got more than one ingredient, don't freaking buy it for the most part. Okay? Learn how to make rice in a rice steamer. That's okay if you're transitioning. Learn how to make baked potatoes in the oven and not microwave them. Buy an Instant Pot. Instant Pots are great to steam things. Learn how to chop salads. Learn how to like grill some chicken breasts or some thighs, and stop eating so much red meat. Stop eating pork altogether. And the people that really caught on to the lifestyle factors, you know, I was working with this one guy who has multiple real estate portfolio. This guy is just a freaking beast. I saw him walking on the beach the other day. I barely recognized him. I was like, hey man, oh my God. Because we hadn't worked together since I went back to this job to kind of like find myself, and I arrived at the raw food lifestyle, guys. I kept on with my journey. But when I saw him at the beach, he had lost another, I think, 80 pounds because he kept doing exactly what I told him to frickin' do. It's not rocket science. Control what goes in here, get your steps in, and do an activity, whether it's the gym. For him, it was frickin' pickleball, believe it or not. And he got in shape. And what was he doing on the beach? He's doing what Coach Blake told him to do 3 years ago, which is get your damn steps in. That's what kept me on the straight and narrow. Okay? So I've kind of like came full circle in my career back to what helped me lose 100 pounds in high school, which was the alkaline diet. That's where I started this live talking about. And many of my videos, I go back to my roots, and the alkaline diet gets you this deep or gets you this far, and that's okay. Just do that. All that says is eat whole foods. Don't eat processed foods. And when you do eat whole foods, like I said, cook them in the oven, steam them in the rice cooker, pressure cook them in the Instant Pot. Don't fry in oil. Don't do all this fancy stuff. Simple eating is best. Don't eat out. That's like your cheat meal. Do one cheat meal a week. The 80-20, that's a golden principle. That's Pareto's law. You get diminishing returns after 80% effort. So allow yourself that wiggle room, that 20%. You're on the path to success. But if you want to shortcut that and just blast off into like a whole new stratosphere of health, that's where, you know, the alkaline diet eventually, after decades of work, evolved into where I'm at right now, which is the natural hygiene stuff. It's the raw foods. But I don't label myself. I'm not a raw vegan. I'm not a high raw. I'm not a vegetarian, this or that. Okay, I don't like any of those labels because those are diets and those are constraints. Like I told you, I'm non-dogmatic. If anything, I say that I'm a raw foodist, or I use those other labels just so people can understand without me giving a monologue. Okay, and all a raw foodist is that's what the original 1800 science of natural hygiene said. Just eat more raw foods in your diet. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Make salads. Make juice. Heisland's delicious apple juice here. All right. Make smoothies. And if you want to have a couple cheat meals, or if you want to experiment with like some steamed lentils or steamed sweet potatoes, I'm not here to judge anybody. All right. I might have some steamed eggs. Who knows? I'm a fisherman. I haven't been inclined to fish after I started this lifestyle because no need, you know. But who knows? Maybe I'll have some fish or some sushi someday. I'm not judgmental at all. My job is to help people get to that point where, like the client I saw on the beach, he's handling himself. Okay? How much longer is he going to live now that he lost 80 pounds or whatever? What if I told his wife and his kids, hey, how much would you pay me out of your trust fund if I gave you 10 years of your dad back on the end of his life? Here, have it all. I like beef. I don't like pork. That's right. Oot! I am not married. I am single. It also takes consistency. Absolutely. Iceland, you've got it. You've got it. To keep being healthy. You've got it, Iceland. You've got it. The consistency is the lifestyle factor. Those are the habits. And what's magical about the 3-week fast is whatever, like, I give science kind of like a grain of salt, kind of like I give everything a grain of salt, you know? I use my own intuition and discernment to decide what I think is true. But there's this whole thing talking about like, it takes 3 weeks to build a habit and 3 weeks to break a habit. Well, I found in my experience that that's pretty much true. It does a good job, at least. So all the preparing, the buying the produce, the cutting it up, the putting in the juicer, the cleaning the juicer, the putting it into the jars, the planning ahead, you know, the sacrificing the meals with the family or whatever, that's going to break a lot of old habits and it's going to build a lot of new ones. You're not going to conquer the world over the night. It's a process. And like I said, like even myself, if I wasn't involved with mentors and sports teams and stuff like that, to have a reason to do this or to help keep pushing me, it would have been hard for me too. All right. So know your why, have a really strong reason why. And if I haven't given you enough, you know, reasons why that you want more time on the end of your life and you want to be young until you die, that should be a strong enough why for everybody, but find your why. We're all individuals in this journey. Okay. And then somebody to help you. That's where I come in. Whoop, whoop. Okay. So just by you being here and being involved, I love it. I'm here to support you. I do truly care. It's one of those, like, you know, blessing and a curse is like, I can't not care about you guys. But some of you guys are going to be able to work with me one-on-one. I am offering a free consult for your first one. The back end of my website is not fully set up yet, but if you just look at the links below or just check out my other videos too, just help me get me some watch hours on those so I can get to that monetized level too. But you'll see that I'm going to, you know, have freebies and have more stuff on my website, which is rawfood.lifestyle. The consistency, the art, and the science and the practice of it all comes into baking these items. Probably not the best word for it. Building these, you know, these practices into your day-to-day. So it just feels like brushing your teeth or tying your shoelaces. Why am I not family? You got family, strong personal willpower. It builds that. It builds that. The discipline and the willpower take a second seat eventually once the habits are there. And then you kind of can't stop. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. You can't backslide after a certain point. Why do I not have family? Why am I not married yet? Or do I have family? You guys, I think it's because my parents were divorced and I swore to myself that I'm never going to divorce somebody and that I'm kind of like a complex person. It took a long time to figure myself out. I'm open to that idea, but, you know, it's going to have to be with somebody who I'm going to want to be with the rest of my life. I've had, obviously, relationships throughout my life, but I don't want to waste my own time and waste anybody else's time on something that's not going to last, because your energy that you give somebody, especially in a intimate relationship, is worth its weight in gold, guys. Don't just go giving that away for some physical fling that lasts 15 minutes and then now you've got all these entanglement. It's not good for you. The right one will come. Thank you, Island. I love you, Island. That is what I wanted to hear. See, we motivate each other. You guys, I have to go to that event. I'm already late, but let me juice up this watermelon. And I'm going to be back on doing these lives, so keep on checking back. And like I said, hit a like, hit a subscribe. And just, I truly, truly love you guys so much. This is like the highlight of my day. I'm loving doing this. So any questions, put them below. And feel free to always, shoot me some messages below. I'll stay on as long as I can. And you guys, I'll most likely be back tomorrow, so check in. And until then, I will talk soon. Peace.